G'day, I am the Lime Bus. I am back, and apparently teams may be on the wrong sides, but fortunately I have a little button that is a quick fix for that. So I hope everyone is doing well today. I am, as I said, the Lime Bus, and we now have a Nexus series, Nexus Gaming Series cast of a Nexus division, actually. We have I'm Not Trolling facing off against Gambit Gaming Creed, which I can see now they probably are on the wrong side, so I can swap that over however when I get into it. Should be a good series. I'm Not Trolling was in the division that I was a mod in last season. However, moved up this season, I moved to a different division, so it doesn't matter. So they are always have been a fun one to watch. And Gambit Gaming Creed, also very fun to watch as well. So, without further ado, we do see the map bans of Infernal Shrines and Infernal Shrines. No, that's not Infernal Shrines. It's Battlefield of Eternity and Dragonshire. I really just don't want to cast Infernal Shrines, isn't it? As well as we do have the Sky Temple and For Sky banned out by Gambit Gaming Creed, and that leads us to Tomb of the Spider Queen, which is a fun one. So what I'll do is I'll open that one up. You are on the wrong side. I recognize your names well enough to know you're on the wrong sides. There we go. It's going to be this way around today. So, we will be getting into it in a few moments as that map is opening on up now, which I need to go to my in-game screen and swap it over, so we'll see how that goes. So, on the side of Gambit Gaming Creed, we have Eternal Blue on the Tychus, Batmang on the Anduin, Alfie is on the Muradin, Gingy Boy is on the Mephisto, and LXT Rex is on that Leoric. And on the other side, we do see Crimson Chin on the Hogger, Silent X on the Anubrak, Seer on the Maiev. I do like a little bit of Maiev play. Realistic on Ana. I do like Ana play even more. And the only Navi is on that Kalefish, which is a fun one as well. It should be interesting to see how this goes. I don't quite know who will win because, well, the team of Gambit Gaming Creed, they do have a Mephisto, which is always a big question mark for me, because sometimes they either really hit their mark or they don't. And I guess we'll have to see how that one goes. So I'm just going to double check things around the right way. Yep, we do have things around the right way now. And Crimson Chin does a little spin, does a little bit of clear, and gets out pretty safely. Seer using that jump. Alfie going in, LXT Rex there as well. And Silent X just doing the best. Hold on. Good living. Seer chasing. Why are you channeling Rex? As see that is a Leoric realizing that they may not be able to do that as easily as they would like this game already. Sleep coming out directly onto Muradin. Nice, realistic, really needs to be on top of the sleeps here. We do see pull onto Gingy Boy. Seer getting stunned by Alfie, does jump over them. We can see a root follow up by a stun, and that's just a lot of damage onto Alfie. Alfie does need to get pulled out by Batmang, but they will be fine. They do get out relatively safely, and they will not go down. But I hope everyone watching is doing well on this Tuesday afternoon, I believe, for most of America. Maybe early evening for East Coast. So yeah, that'll be an interesting time. I really forget how time zones work, I'll be honest. It's not something that I remember all very well. It is constantly an issue for anyone I try to schedule with, which is why I refuse to be a captain nowadays. But no, I did get through it rough enough, and I do get to my matches on time because people are very nice and tell me when I need to be there. Sorry, I was just replying to a housemate as they're telling me when they're returning from seeing their partner in another city. But no, we do have now Alfie is in trouble, gets dropped in on by, no, actually just gets the ghost dropped in on them by Seer, but no actual teleport themselves. Here a nice little reset as we see that it is actually the quest picked up at level 4 by the Maiev. Interesting to see that and not the physical damage added to daggers as well, but we do also see that it is a pull build Maiev, so we'll be probably not going into that full kind of dagger reset build. Other things we see is the questing on level 1 by Kalefish. They're wanting very much to live through a decent amount of bursts, so they are going that Mana Shield talent at 1. Crimson Chin is in danger. They do spin out of that danger. Does take a grenade for their efforts, but will be fine. Obviously, is Tychus went Master Assassin at level 4, and Anduin went Piercing Light as well. Right, well, camp was picked up quite early. Not even early, I'm not trolling. A little bit better on the camp discipline, I should say. We'll get a decent amount of pressure with it. And meanwhile, we can see that Eternal Blue and Batman just slowly working on their own. So there'll be a decent amount of gate damage coming out here from their camp, I'd imagine. Silent X wanting to see what they can do. And keep in mind, we do see I'm Not Trolling has turned in now. They will be wanting to look at that shortly. A lot of it is on Silent X that Anubrak does have a harder time turning in than any others, just because that is the one you realistically want to tank for things. And unfortunately, Ana doesn't have escape, anyone else does, and Realistic will be taken down. Right, Hogger has 3 gems. We can see Silent X has most of them, and now we can see turn-in occurring here as well. Gambit Gaming Creed wants that advantage. Dagger thrown at Alfie, making sure Alfie can't do anything. Oh, any more daggers? Nope, just a ghost. Just a spooky ghost. And no, we can see Alfie misses a hammer onto CSC, however, didn't get any reset. And meanwhile, LXT Rex is going to be turning in bottom. Oh, Hogger getting an awkward bounce. They're now in trouble. LXT Rex is the one trying to stop them. They do get barely pushed out. 90 health left. No, they go down eventually. Mephisto basically calamities them. Lands directly on top. But while that was happening, Anubrak got their turn in top, and Red Web Weavers will be descending. And that's honestly not quite how I expected that to go, but it is the case indeed. And Seer and Silent is going to be forced out. Right, Web Weaver phase up. Kalfist picking a Burned Flesh. Not often you see it. Typically you see the living bomb damage. But when there's this much grouping, that little extra percent can do a decent amount. You typically do need to see the bigger flame strike there for it to work. Nice sleep onto Alfie. Alfie does jump out in time before the flame strike hits them. So they'll be good. They'll be good. There's not too much pressure on them. They're pretty safe. Right, we can now see that Alfie is being run at. They do get decent amount of damage on top of him. Silent X going on top of him again. We can see this slowly dying to be Ana poison, but that's not really going to be enough to take them down. I'm really liking Realistic here. They're doing so well on Ana, man. Ana is such a difficult one in current days, just because you do need to do very well with her to actually be effective. If you're even missing like 3 out of your 10 shots, you're not hitting enough. You really need to hit, honestly, 9 out of 10 at worst. Because see, Alfie is going to be channeling the objective, does get their gems in, so now it will be the team's Gambit Gaming Creed's turn to return the favour of the Web Weavers back towards I'm Not Trolling. We can see they're actually coming down bot first, as it is a little bit of a camp fight. Eternal Blue does eventually get a Hogger, needs to spin out. Alfie has Hogger spin directly into them as he's jumping off the backline, and that is a Muradin taking a lot of stuns, a decent amount of damage, but that is still a pretty tanky Muradin at the end of the day, and they will honestly be fine. Now the Web Weaver is here to push. They do get that wave started. And we can see Hogger and Maiev has split to help defend other lanes. Hogger now in a position where they can't quite hit the Web Weaver immediately. I was supposed to say Spider when we say Web Weaver, so I'm messing that up again. And we do now see quests completed by the Kalfist. And Din's dropping through roughly the same time for both teams. We see Commandeer Odin being dropped. We also have the, to just mention a few other things, we do have that Light Bomb Anduin, Avatar Muradin, Endurance of Hate Mephisto, and the, actually I showed my talent so everyone can see it, and the Entomb Leoric. On the other side, we do have that Containment Disc actually on Maiev. Not often you see that, but it is a very good one since they made it silence afterwards. Now, also the Shockwave Hogger, Nanoboost Li Ming, Phoenix on the Kalfist, and the Cocoon Anubrak, which I imagine we're going to be seeing Seer as the one who is nanoed the most. Because while Na'Vi can do a decent amount, they're limited a little bit by the actions they can actually do. While Seer can do a lot more in a short amount of time. LXT Rex wanting to see if they can stop Na'Vi. Na'Vi does get their turn in. Keep in mind that it is a Leorc with about 30 gems at this point, so it's going to be a lot. And that Pinata does need to get popped eventually. Sia seeing what they can do. Not able to get any turn in yet. They are going to be trying, heaven forbid, they will try their best. And now we can see that there's a little bit of chasing going on, but no, they'll be fine. And Kalphus says, your world is upside down. Oh, Hogger is stunned. We're not quite going to be able to get the turn in yet. Gingy Boy is looking to stop them. Does get the Skull Missile onto them. Honestly, if you're Crimson Chin, you may just want to fight. Pull onto Alfie. Did actually do a little bit of a bamboozle there. As now we do see Crimson Chin wanting to get things done. Realistic takes the W. Nope, there wasn't even W to be thrown. As Crimson Chin gets the turn in. And that will be the Red Weeb Weavers being dropped once again. I'm not trolling, getting their return on the return of Gambit Gaming Creed. My words are failing me already. This is going well because I have a whole nother few things lined up today. Alfie gets Light Bomb put on them. They do barely get Silent X with the tail end of it, but no, there is no damage or follow-up to go on out. You can see that is a teleport coming out. Gingy Boy will be safe. Sia, realizing they've maybe gone a little bit too far, does use that Vulture for Wardens to dodge a decent amount of damage and potentially with a Mirrodin Hammer. But no, we can see now that they're wanting to push top, and that looks like where the team is going to congregate. Maiev doesn't quite go in off that, but no, we do see that it is going to be a very safe play here. As Commandeer Odin is dropped, you see Gingy Boy backing out. But we can see that they're very much wanting just to give this top forward at this point, as that is all 5 members of the team, plus the building going down, and it looks like they may be wanting the middle one next. But this will be a little bit of a harder defense. Nope, it goes down. And we do see Anduin is cocooned. Silent X is lining itself up for the stun. We do see stun directly on top. Unfortunately, Anduin cannot pull themselves to someone else, only someone else to them. And they go down. Crimson Chin, 9 health. They are going to go down, however, just a little bit too much. There's the Entomb. Seer does a little vault, and Silent X is in trouble as well. We see Navi is hit with that Nano Boost, but as I said, there's only so much a Kalphus can do under Nano Boost. LXD Rex wants Navi. Navi gets hit by Grenade as well. Ana doing his best to keep him alive, but now is Ana in trouble. Does duck down to see if they can dodge the stun. They are going to hold on as long as they can, but the Mephisto, unfortunately, will not let them escape. Silent X is in trouble, loses the gems. Seer seeing if they can pick them up, and they now do indeed have them. But that was a costly fight there for I'm Not Trolling. And Gambit Gaming Creed now looks to be in a very healthy position. They have a decent build-up of gems. They have a few kills. But there is that thing of it's a very pushed out waves, top and bot. Sure, they get turned in top very low, but I don't know if they necessarily get it here. And we see Sia is going for a quick reset. So imagine we're going to get mid defense, top defense, and bot defense. Bot is kind of considered the least important lane on this map. I'm rubbing my eye instead doing camera work. That's on me. So, what are we going to get here? Cocoon coming out onto Anduin once again. Oh, nice choice by Eternal Blue to stop hitting the Cocoon. As we see, Batman would have been stunned if they kept hitting it. But no, safe push. And Realistic now, realistically, is going to go down. No, they don't have the damage onto them. Ana autoing for their life. You can see that's a nice endurance of 8. That is 2 members being traded out. The Bruiser for the tank, Anubrak for Leoric. Seer, however, can kind of act as a pseudo tank in that regard, at least an engaged tank. They will go down, so not that tanky, but we can see Crimson Chin wants those gems. They do roll upwards, smart roll, but they are still going to go down. That's 26 gems now. In somewhere, realistically, that's not somewhere you can go if you are the side of, oh, Realistic, no. Realistic holds on barely. Eternal Blue, unfortunately, couldn't find the kill onto them. So Gambit Gaming Creed did once again get a very good fight onto I'm Not Trolling. So I'm Not Trolling has a decent uphill battle at this point to deal with. They can do it, do not get me wrong, but it is not going to be the easiest by any means. And now we are getting a boss call coming out as well. It's not the easiest for I'm Not Trolling to step into. They've only just gotten their tank back now. They're not in a position to do so. So they're just going to play it safe and not really go at it. Crimson Chin doing what they can to clear, seeing if they can get that soak difference back in from them. They didn't pick up the last 2 gems, But honestly, we almost see another turn-in available for Gambit Gaming Creed. This is a very precarious spot for the side of I'm Not Trolling. Right. So, we do see now boss being defended, turn-in available for Gambit Gaming Creed. You got a lot to deal with if you're I'm Not Trolling. You don't have a best boss clear as is. Really, it's Maev? Hogger, I think, maybe the best damage onto boss. Yeah, you're not going to take it down very easily. And Webweave is also just about to be here as well. That's also not the easiest to do if you're lower on single target damage. Especially when you're more a PvP-centric comp, such as I'm Not Trolling. Speaking of which, we can see there is a lot of posturing going on bottom. Not bottom, mid. As we see, Silent X getting very aggressive into the team, but does use that move speed on W to get out. Alfie does get the jump and light bomb onto Sia. Sia then followed up onto that with a Durance of Hate, but they will eventually walk out. Vault of Wardens is Vault of Wardens. It's a nice little invuln, and they will survive. Silent X now is going to be clearing that Web Weaver, and we do see him running after Alfie, but no, they aren't going to quite commit to that. How are they going to commit here? Nope, they get rooted. They try to get stun off, they get rooted again, stunned, and that is a dead bug. Little squish, little bug going squish. And Ubrak unable to survive that, unfortunately. All while this push is going on mid, there's Web Weaver's top and bottom happening. Crimson Chin's doing their best to deal with the top. Now bottom, and we see top did eventually peter out while that defense was happening mid. And we see now there is a rotate. Oh, that is an entomb onto Hogger. Hogger can actually spin out of a wall, but they did not have it available by the looks of things. They did use a shockwave to see if they can live, but no, they did go down. So looking like we may have a 20v20 game on our hands. Though Gambit Gaming Creed may end that a little bit earlier. Sia using the... Oh, what's that ability called again? Containment disc onto Leoric, so they weren't in trouble, and they do get out. Well done them. Right, there is a safe little play now from Gambit Gaming Creed. Can I really not stop messing up their name? I keep wanting to say Granite Gaming is a problem, which I know is a completely different org, but that is a yike from me. Not something I really want to mix up too much, but I feel like I've done this consistently with Gambit Gaming, and I apologize for that. So we do now have both teams working towards the next turn, and it is a little bit closer for I'm Not Trolling over Gambit Gaming. They will be trying to get there, but it won't quite be there yet. And we do see just a lot of safe play. Mirrodin wanting to get their turn in before anything bad can happen. Wanting to make sure both safe. And Sia now, however, will have a Leoric running at them. Entomb finds them. Not silence Entomb yet, so they do get the Durance disc. Oh, Durance actually cancelled by the Cocoon from Silent X. But realistic, however, Ana doesn't have the escape they need to get away from Mirrodin and will go down. And that will be level 20s now through for the side of Gambit Gaming Creed. You can see that Mirrodin jumps, misses the first stun, and rewinds, hits the second. Sia does teleport out to safety, which honestly, great. I thought there was going to be another dead team member and potentially an end call, but no, speak about calls, we do have Eternal Blue dropping the Commandeer Odin with that big red button. We also see Sencha Anduin, Mimic on Mephisto, and the Silence Entomb Leoric. So no one is probably going to be surviving that now if Entomb does land. And saying that, Leoric isn't with the team currently, so there's going to be not quite the value there they need. We see a nice double light bomb on the Mirrodin as Mirrodin jumps on in. And we can see now Sia and Ko are relatively low. The healer down, but we'll be back up soon. The gem's being picked up once again. Entomb misses. That is unfortunate for LEC Rex. And now we see the team of Gambit Gaming Creed fighting in an awkward spot. They were between two keeps and the core. So they do need to back out safety. Silent X seeing what they can do to interrupt. Does walk straight back into the Durance of Hate. However, it's not the silence on it, so they will be fine. Crimson Chin doing what they can to clear, making sure there is just that anti-pressure coming through. And the Bruiser Camp being stolen now by Gambit Gaming Creed. They have the advantage, they may as well. Level 20 is still just a little bit off for I'm Not Trolling. So as I was expecting, we are probably going to get a 20v20 game. Which, I know Tomb of the Spider Queen can be one of those ones that you can just kind of finish earlier if you get a good enough advantage. But it hasn't really worked out that way for Gambit Gaming Creed. Yeah, sure, they've 14 kills to 2. But how I'm Not Trolling has been playing the map has done very well to make sure they don't get too far behind in experience, nor will they lose before that 20. Speaking of 20s, it is now through for them. We do have no control. Hogger, Nano Infusion from the Ana. I don't know what any of my things are called. I'm going to be honest. I need to look at this. Shadow Orb Vengeance on the Maev, Rewind Anubrak, and Flamethrower on the Kael'thas. I think it's called that. Yeah, Flamethrower. Right, boss pushing in now. Phoenix actually dropped really early. It dropped directly on top of the boss and just used as a zoning tool. Seer getting aggressive, does get hit by that nuke of the big red button. But now we do have Seer able to back out actually. Boss all while hitting core, and there's a little fight going on past it. Silent X, 24 gems, goes down. That Anubrak should not have really gone in there, but they need still time for that boss to slowly drop. Shockwave doesn't find anything from Crimson Chin. However, Seer and Crimson Chin actually getting relatively low thanks to that. Mephisto, speaking of which, Mephisto does eventually go down. No control used by Hogger. They have now doubled their kills who've gone to this game. Despite alone, that is Batman being pulled in. That's a Brightwing, Anduin down, I should say. That's a the Orcs to follow. Will Alfie be able to escape what is to come still? They do get the stun off onto Seer. They do have their passive going off. Realistic, not close enough to get their sleep dart, but no. However, Crimson Chin was able to find the stun onto Alfie. Alfie then taken down by the peppering that is Ana's gun, I suppose. And just the poison did drop their health to 0. Now we can see that they're wanting to take structures. They're wanting to open things up. No, they're taking the Bruiser camp by the looks of things. LTX Rex will be back up soon enough. We do see... I don't know why. We see Phoenix dropped on the camp. I guess they wanted to speed up how quickly it is done. Which, fair enough. You see buildings now getting destroyed. However, it will be Leoric up in a few seconds. Mephisto coming up now, and Tychus not too far behind. But that one fight there, damage was done. As we can see now, I'm Not Trolling in a position to actually end the next big fight they have. They got this whole heap down. They're not too far off turn-in. They're much closer than the side of Gambit Gaming Greed. They're at, well, 5 gems now compared to I'm Not Trolling's 47 out of 60. And we're just getting a lot of safe play once again. We're at 20-minute mark of Tomb of the Spider Queen, so definitely one of the longer ones. But we're actually looking into a position where I'm Not Trolling was not sure they would be able to do anything before. Now very much is in a position where they may be able to win this. Silent X does get hit by a grenade out of the Anduin's route, so that will unfortunately fall a little bit short. Realistic now getting dove on once again. Alfie caught mid, jump by Hogger's... I can't remember what it's called. Hogger's Shockwave. And now we can see backing out. Only Na'Vi does back away. And actually the Endurance of Hate was cancelled of Mephisto. So that will still be back up for this next fight. And actually, considering everything that was used there, no one died. Which, good work of the healers there and very good work by the tanks to make sure that it was as difficult as possible to make sure people went down. Now we can see the gem counts being slowly built back up. And I'm Not Trolling has it now. They have that 17 they needed. The question is, how difficult will it be for them to turn in? And it looks like it's going to be, the answer is going to be very difficult. As Gambit Gaming Creed is not wanting the team to be able to get away with anything they want. Which, to be fair, is I guess how you should be playing Heroes of the Storm. Not just inviting your enemy to come in, get a turn in, and be fine. We can now see that Seer alone has most of the turn in. We're wanting to check everything, make sure nothing is going on that they can't see. But no, Batman is a little bit split from everyone else. The healer, however, not honestly that far away. Realistic, trying to hold back, making sure they're a not very diveable target for Alfie. But no, that split has now occurred, and we can see maybe Seer's considering going top to turn in. That looks to be the case. As well, Gambit Gaming Creed are having to go elsewhere and deal with camps pushing both bottom and mid. So Leoric is actually a little bit off. Now's the time to turn in if you're on the side of I'm not trolling. But no, we can see Gambit Gaming Creed loses the healer first. Anduin goes down. Alfie slowly going down to realistic, but does pop that avatar, so they will be safe for a little bit longer. Entomb drop, but Leoric unable to really capture anyone through it. So yeah, sure, Silent X was in it, but they were able to get out safely. Muradin jumps out. Alfie will be fine. But it looks like LXD Rex and Eternal Blue are the next ones on the chopping block. Will they be able to get taken down? We do see pull out onto the Leoric. Leoric goes down now, and now that's 2 people against the full 5-man still of I'm Not Trolling. And I'm Not Trolling, who looked to be in such a precarious position most of this match, now is the one with a lead. They do have the Web Weavers coming in. They do have a full 5-man compared to 2 of GGC, but that will likely be what she wrote. Oh, Silent X a little bit early there on the containment disc, but honestly that is alright, as they were still silenced out of it. And now we do see the core is under pressure. Phoenix dropped on core as well. Web Weavers plus massive wave, well, Web Weaver single but plus a massive wave will be a little bit too much for Gambit Gaming Creed to deal with, and that is the first map of the series going over to the side of I'm Not Trolling. So let me pull up this stat screen and we can have a quick look at the talents, I suppose, as we see what is happening. So I'm just going to mute myself and have a drink. Okay, I was much thirstier than expected. I just had to keep drinking. But it was a good, fun game. Thing to note here, not really anything in particular. I did have to say Tigers did get their actual Master Assassin done. Might have also got their Dagger quest done. And 52 stacks on Kalphas's Mana Shield. No wonder why they became very difficult to kill in that late game. So let's have a look at stats real quick. Good damage by both Tychus and Kalphas, both absolutely cranking it out. Maiev not quite as close as Mephisto or even Hoggo were to that Kalphas, but it didn't matter at the end. You don't need to do all the damage in the world as long as you do the necessary damage. So basically, as long as the health equals 0, it doesn't matter if you do 50 damage or 1000 damage as long as they die. Other things to note, Hogga and Mephisto actually were the closest on having most siege, but Hogga and Leoric were the ones who had the most soak, 20k compared to 19k. So what I'll do now is I'm going to change it over to our map view screen. Click I'm Not Trolling as one that map, quit this replay, and see what we have in store for us next. God, I am thirsty. Sorry about this. Right. And we do have Towers of Doom. I do like Towers a lot. But it is also because I'm someone who just likes kind of turning my brain off and just soaking a little bit. And yeah, it looks like they are around the wrong way still. So let me just get things prepped so we can end the game in a few moments. Hopefully I can time this right. We see that good luck, have fun being thrown out by at least LXD Rex. As on the left side of Gambit Gaming Creed, we do have LXD Rex on the Dahaka. That Space Yoshi. Gingy Boy is on the Li Ming. Batmang on the Brightwing. Eternal Blue on Sylvanas. And Alfie is on Stitches this time. So an interesting comp to say the least. On the other hand, we do have Crimson Chin on the Sonya? Yep, Sonya. Silent X is on the Joanna. Realistic is on Ufa. Ah, yes. I love Ufa, man. We do also have Yoni Navi once again on the Kalphas. And Sia is on Hammer this time, who is going to go bot immediately and have a nice little shield of meat to protect them with Ufa. And actually, even Silent X will do very well protecting them. You can see that there is already a rotate bottom as they half expect there to be some cheese coming out. But no, it is a Joe and Calvis showing mid already. But Eternal Blue has seen Seer bottom. Hook coming out onto Na'Vi. Na'Vi not quite happy with that. Does get the tongue afterwards. There's a lot of damage coming out. Na'Vi barely holding on. They don't have a mana shield at the moment. And that will be them barely making it on their way out. And now Hammer's doing Hammer things. However, I imagine Hammer was picked up a little bit before the tank and the mage here, because that is not what you want to see if you are a Sergeant Hammer. You do not want to see... Sorry, I've gone the wrong way. You do not want to see a Stitches with a hook. You do not want to see a Leeming who could just bombard you from afar. Those are two things that you're actually going... I don't like this game anymore. I don't want to play Hammer. As you can see, Seer gets out. Just do some damage, man. Just shoot. Even in this form. Even in this, mobile form, not siege form, you do a lot of damage. Note we can see fights breaking out. Realistic stunning everyone off. Silent X pulling everyone away. Hammer coming back into the fray thanks to Dahaka Tongue. Don't know what they can do to keep him alive, but they are indeed doing it. And Alfie now is the one in trouble. Does get stunned in that Hammer range. But no, ultimately we're getting it out as Silent X did need to have a quick reset. They run at Alfie, but no, they'll be stopped running by Gingy Boy's auto attack. And that camp will be found by I'm Not Trolling. So I don't know if that was necessarily a great choice by Gambit Gaming Greed. They had their own camp still up. They don't necessarily have the best ways to muscle in. Yeah, sure, they did have a 5v4 for all of it, I believe. But they weren't able to get initial pick with the Stitches, and that makes a lot of fights much harder. And it's our X steps in. Right, we do now have once again a fight coming out. Cleanse coming out from Brightwing, but Brightwing is going to be going down basically immediately. Eternal Blue does join the fray, is in danger. All while Gingy Boy has been peppering people with orbs. But no, that will not be any kills there for the side of Gambit Gaming Greed. So I'm Not Trolling in a very good early spot. Sergeant Hammer is such an annoying one to deal with. I wonder if they were seeing D-Storm or D-Shield. Both make sense in this regard. Seer is barely out of range of the form. I can just see the awkward turn. That's not actually something I can hit currently. And just the tears rolling down Seer's face. Like, I just want to hit building, man. The more I see Sergeant Hammer, the more I really want to play Sergeant Hammer, and that's a problem. Because the people I play with will not be able to play around Sergeant Hammer. Nice stun onto Stitches. Leeming, however, does find those arcane missiles. Seer interrupted. And we see they do set up now. Dahaka in backline does tongue the Sergeant Hammer. Sergeant Hammer peeled for a lot. Went down to... Nope, never mind. Went down to 40 health. But no, the hook does find them. They aren't able to escape this time. This is Towers of Doom, however, and you don't necessarily need the first objectives as long as you get the last ones. Or so everyone likes to call it. Towers of Comeback. Because, well, you can definitely make a comeback on this map. One day I need to remember to actually link my Twitter to this Twitch. It's not very smart of me to always forget to do it. And we see a bomb spread. That is an Ufa, however, going down. Which he's become an even better healer now. Right wing does phase shift out. Ufa topping up Na'Vi, topping up Silent, getting their armor out. And this Calf is actually getting a lot of bomb value this map. We may see a bomb build instead of the Qs. But we can have a look at talents because I haven't actually done that. We are having Calphus have a good think about it. Note they still go that flame strike talent at level 7. So burn flesh once again. We see Silent X is found by Hook. Alfie deciding, actually, you know what, that's not worth it at this point. Does back out. Uther has gone full Q build. Interesting. Oh, I guess you don't need cleanse here. You've got a Stitches and a for mind control. I don't know. I don't know about that in particular. And saying that 50 armor is a lot. Oh, faster cooldown to heal is a decent amount. But we can see now that Stitches, Alfie is one in the firing line. See a lot of damage coming out on top of them. Oh, unfortunately for Batman, they teleported in an awkward time to get hits with a flame strike for their efforts. Dahaka Tongue doesn't find anything. Seer, meanwhile, is just floating around seeing what they can do. In terms of stacking, we do have that Calphus did go Mana Addict once again. We do have Laws of Hope, Joanna, a stun out onto Alfie. Alfie taking a lot of damage. They are going to go down eventually to the Calphus bomb, and the pool floaty left there, or staring awkwardly at what's just happened. That we do have the backing out of Realistic. They're going to be fine, Silent X, and we're going to have decent siege. Now we've got no Stitches. Sia is feeling very emboldened in what they can do, knowing that there isn't going to be a hook forcing them to do anything at any given moment. Kalfis already on that bottom objective. We can now see there is going to be a good old everyone run at this one. Sia sets up in position where they can still channel in siege form. And Realistic holding high to make sure no one can step into that hammer. I would like to see Divine Shield this map, just because you can Divine Shield someone right as they get in, as someone tries to interrupt them to actually get them to finish that channel. And while it is unfortunate they weren't able to get that structure before all those were channeled over, you do still now have that bottom building, and that is a very strong position to be in if you're I'm Not Trolling. They seem much more comfortable on this map than the last. And now we get the positioning of, we're not going to let you have this building, we're back. That mine is so hard to see there. Pull coming out onto the Joanna. Orb does also hit Joanna as well, not quite what you want. Ufa then tanks it a little bit closer so it won't quite be the reset that Gingy Boy desires. Nope. Alfie is going to get hit once again. Hook does not find anything. The tower being turned off. Realistic does not quite dodge the orb. Mind Control going out onto the Joanna, and that's where maybe Cleanse would have been probably the better choice. Not Curse Wallet, but Blunt Force Gun, because it's definitely not the other BFG that's from Doom series, does find the Stitches, and that is a good kill onto them. And now we're in the area where, if you are I'm Not Trolling, this is your home. As we can see, there's 2 members in their home now. 3 members in their home. They're making a nice house. Sorry, this is more like here. This is your home. Maybe not the top left corner, but this is your home now. You do not leave unless objective is up. Which objective is up in just 10 seconds now. They're going to clear this last wave, then head in the right direction. You can see camp picked up. We can see that the damage is coming out. Alfie wants to help. Realistic is realistically going to hold in position where they can make sure the only Na'vi can get the objective. Meanwhile, Sylvanas and Dahaka seeing if they can even things out by pushing top. This is actually what is often considered a correct choice. If you can't immediately push in bottom, see if you can hard push top. Because if you can at least even up the structures, that means you're not going to be able to have everyone stay here forever. Keep in mind, Alfie now has been pulled in. We do see Dio Shield is available, but not needed. 25 armor onto Silence there. The D Shield is finally used. And that is Silent X getting safety. Sia pushing Alfie back, and Alfie getting stunned. Will they take enough damage is the question. Incoming hook will be up again soon. And they're doing very well at holding their home. This is still mainly dominated by I'm Not Trolling. Once again, we see all 3 members here, and only 2 members of Gambit Gaming Creed coming to visit. They're not the most welcome of house guests by the looks of it, as they keep throwing things at them. But they are still going to be controlling this area really well. Taka and Sonya still soaking. I'm going to open up talents just so people can see, and I will actually quickly go over the 10s while we're here, because we do have Blunt Force Gun on the hammer. Kalfis to go Phoenix once again. Leap Sonya, D-Shield, Ufa, and the Blessed Shield on Joanna, who is making their way back home. Other than that, we do have Mind Control Sylvanas, Gorge Stitches, Blink Heal Brightwing, Repulsion, Wave of Force Li Ming, and the Isolation Dahaka. Also, I do see that we are a Glass Cannon Calamity Li Ming, which I don't know how well that will go. I do know it can be very good in any given situation, but I don't know how that will go here. Also, 13s are now through. Ufa is going stun. Oh, that is Sia pulled in. That's not the person you want, but it is still them escaping. Silent X taking the orb, so Sia can stay a little bit longer. And Gingy Boy getting aggressive once again. Taka doesn't quite find the tongue. We do see them starting to back out. All while Fort is taking shots on LXT Rex. They're going to be backing up into Realistics, who does just walk up for a couple of abilities and they go down. Kalfis is going to be heading to the objective to see if they can channel it. And once again, we have the home of I'm Not Trolling occupied. As Eternal Blue takes a lot of damage, gets hit with a blind, and has 5 more shots into the core of Gambit Gaming Creed. They are absolutely having difficulty pushing into this hammer. And that's the thing, like, yeah, sure, Stitches and Li Ming can do very well into hammer, but if you're having difficulty dislodging her because people are body blocking very well between the Stitches and the hammer, that becomes much harder for you to deal with things. Honestly, Gorge Crimson Shin kill them. Yep. That is what is keeping this engine running, so to speak. That soak that has been happening from Sonya, that is what is keeping them, the team of I'm Not Trolling, in this game so far. And now we see a pull onto Realistic, who gets the stun out, pops D-Shield on themselves, Qs, and we do now see that is a lot of damage coming out. Gingy Boy is in the firing line. Hammer's not one who finds a kill, but it is indeed the Ufa. Ufa goes down now. That is a little bit of healing buff, and now Sia realizes they're in an awkward spot, does get hooked in. However, they still have a boosted jets for a little bit longer, and will be fine. Overall, this building is still in favor of I'm Not Trolling. Objectives will be coming up in the next 10-20 seconds, I imagine. But this will likely be now the reconversion of their own fort back to the side of Gambit Gaming Greed. Yep, and there's the objectives. Sometimes I now have, I hate that now I have kind of a third sense of when those will be coming up. I guess I've played the game enough, and B, talked about the game for long enough where I can just recognize when it's going to be happening at any given point. But we do have all members up now. It looks like they may just give bottom. No, Ufa and Calvis are running bottom. Meanwhile, we do have a aggressive posturing here by the front line and Hammer. So the three tanks. Sia realizes they maybe just wanted to turn in the objective. Alfie is going to be looking for a hook soon, but no, we do see that Sia is in a safe spot where no one can get to them. That is probably went a little bit better that time than I'm Not Trolling expected. Sia does get pulled. Gingy Boy goes for the Calamity. But that is just a little bit too much damage onto Sergeant Hammer. Sergeant Hammer goes down. Crimson Chin does dodge the tongue by LXT Rex, and that will be that fight kind of over. But no, we are very much in lethal range now for Gambit Gaming Greed. They're likely going to be removing Boss off the map if they don't want it taken by the enemy team. But keep in mind, I'm Not Trolling still has a good means to muscle their way into things. Not Morales. Joanna very good at that. Sonya very good at that. But they are not going to be doing it here. There is not necessarily any need to lose any more heroes at the moment. I do like Na'Vi and Sal X stealing the camp while that was happening, as Alfie is making their way down. And I'm surprised that we're not going to see him get slowed down. Hook coming out onto one of the pumpkins. But the other one's still relatively safe. Relatively being the key term. They have Gingy Boy, Alfie, and Eternal Blue running at them. And we can see now that they are going to be going down pretty quickly. The backup happening as we do have two people top. Crimson Chin, Sia holding off against Batman and LXT Rex. Which actually that may have been the time for the Globals to go down and see what they can do to pick a fight. But that is all over now. Realistic hits by the slam with Alfie. Alfie stepping in. That's going to be a hard Stitches to dislodge. Right, we do have the damage coming out. Na'Vi stepping on it. Stitches unfortunately stepped off the eject for a little too long. And now Alfie is the one in firing line, will go down. That's not what you wanted to see if you're the side of Gambit Gaming Greed. Literally, as the objectives are coming up, so we're likely going to get aggressive positioning here from I'm Not Trolling. As one good fight here, maybe the end of it all. Eternal Blue on the objective ready. Crimson Chin seeing if they can touch. Leaps onto them. Does get that interrupt. Meanwhile, that is a 4v4 currently. We see Hammer does get that objective channel to the left. Big. Nope. Blunt Force Gun does get a big hit onto the enemy team. We see Sia now is channeling. That is the Dahaka down. Gingy Boys trying their best to do the damage from underneath. But Sia gets his last objective. All 4 shots going to the core, and that will be the game. Going over to the side of I'm Not Trolling. GG's called by both teams. And I also mentioned that is also the series going over to I'm Not Trolling. So let's see how that map went and then see what we have up next. Because I'll do one more before I do have the live ones later today. In terms of stats, we do have excellent siege by Crimson Chin. Crimson Chin very much making sure that the advantage was held as long as possible by soaking those... Sorry, big stretch. Soaking those waves while the team of I'm Not Trolling was holding that bottom objective. Very good there. In terms of hero damage, we do see Sergeant Hammer 40k, Leeming 57k. But that consistent damage from Hammer did very well. And Leeming did find their kills, yeah. But didn't quite have enough. As Ufa shielding did so well to protect him. And also note that is why we do have such a difference between Brightwing and Ufa. Ufa is not necessarily known for their healing per se as opposed to their protection. that the shield can give, as well as Brightwing is alone a little bit more for the healing. In terms of talents, once again, interesting we see that Burned Flesh gets picked up, but I do like it. I do like the pickup sometimes, as well as we do see Fury of the Sunwell. So, double Flame Strike Kale Fist. Interesting to see full Q build kind of Ufa here. Don't know about Beacon of Light. I do very much know I am a fan of Benediction, but I do understand that it's not everyone's cup of tea, and that's perfectly fine. Other than that, we do see, yeah, everything else makes sense. Interesting Laws of Hope, but it did give Joanna that extra sustain that she was needing. And it did work out pretty well for her. So what I'm going to do is throw on over to that map view screen so we get one last look of what happened in this series. As it was. And now I'm going to, at the end of it all, revert it to the ways it's meant to be. Because it was meant to be this way around. I'm Not Trolling did take the series 2-0 over the side of Gambit Gaming Creed. They took Tomb of the Spider Queen in a very good comeback, but that Towers of Doom very much seemed much more in their wheelhouse, and they absolutely killed it. So I'm going to be looking at doing one more series now. That looks really weird on my screen. So we're going into our replay browser, cast dashboard, replay casts. Yay, Zavorio. Excellent. What do we want? This looks like a good one. Maybe we go to Division C East this time. Yep, let's go Division C East. So what we're going to do is we're going to have Start Slow and Taper Off facing off against Brick House. And I'll set that for 5 minutes ago, let's say. So we're still in the morning. We're going to claim that match. So what I'll do is I'll put myself on to break. I'll have to run another ad break while I get things set up. So I will catch you all on the other side of that. That was an excellent series by both teams. Well played. But I'll catch you all on the other side of this break.